Hey, it's Candice Quinn with Contract Hack. Today I'm going to talk about something that no one ever tells you. And that's what happens when you start a term clerkship with a judge and the career clerk doesn't like you. Look, clerkships are supposed to be this prestigious stepping stone in your career, one that will make you a better attorney and set you up on the right path. You work directly for a judge, you get incredible experience, and you walk away with a golden reference. But here's what they don't tell you. Sometimes there is a gatekeeper between you and the judge. That gatekeeper is the judge's career clerk, the one that works for him year-round, all the time, has a permanent position. That career clerk sees you as a threat, as someone disposable, or as this pain-in-the-ass person they have to train who's going to leave in a year or two. Who has to leave in a year or two. At best, they treat you well and give you lots of valuable experience, but at worst, they can make your life a living hell. And I lived through this, and I'm here to tell you, it's not fun. So I'm going to show you how to survive it, protect your reputation, and still get that reference at the end. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like. You show up at your first day, you're so excited to work for the judge. You are basically skipping in, holding your briefcase. But the career clerk, they've been there for years, maybe decades, and they have no ambition of moving on because they have the cushiest job ever. They not only know the judge's habits, in a lot of cases, they control access to the judge and they control what gets through to the judge and what doesn't. They've built their kingdom and you're just a peasant. Here's what career clerks do. They will hoard all the best work and give you the worst work. They will take credit for your research and writing and then turn around and badmouth you to the judge. They will micromanage every comma that you add to an opinion and then also give you no guidance on how to fix anything. They create impossible standards and criticize you for not meeting them, and they weaponize their proximity to the judge. And the worst part is most of the time, the judge doesn't see it. Judges trust their career clerk and they rely on them heavily. If the career clerk is telling the judge that you're lazy, well, the judge is probably going to believe. Okay, so before we get into the survival strategies, why does this happen exactly? Some career clerks are threatened by the term clerks. The career clerks are stuck in one position. They've been there too long to really go to a law firm, or they know they can't hack it in a law firm at this point in their life, and they just feel stuck and aren't sure what's going to happen at the next election or when their judge retires. They don't have a long-term plan, and they have limited options because of that. Plus, you just finished law school, you have lots of opportunities ahead of you, and they don't. Others have just been there too long and they forget what it's like to be new. And they're also just maybe sick of seeing the carousel of rotating term clerks going in and out and them always having to be the one to train and keep the term clerk up to speed. Some are just mean, and that's just the truth. They feel like they have power over the term clerk and they're going to use it to their advantage no matter what the term clerk is or does. But understanding what flavor of dysfunction you're dealing with can help you understand what strategies to use to get ahead of them. So, survival strategy number 1, document everything. This is your insurance policy. Keep a running document. Keep a document of everything that you do, every assignment that you're given, every assignment that maybe you're not given that you asked for. Write down every deadline. Make a note of every conversation. Keep it consistent and keep it contemporaneous. Also, you're going to want to save all of your drafts for anything that you're writing. Opinions, memos, whatever the case is, save all your drafts. Every version from the beginning to the end. If the career clerk ever claims that you didn't do all the work or you didn't do what they asked, you will have these files that you can show, hey, I started at this date, I gave this copy, I did this, and it can kind of back you up a little bit. I mean, it's still a he said, she said situation, but it's a little bit better if you're not just trusting and writing over each draft. You also want to be sure to follow up in writing. So after verbal communication, go ahead and just send that follow-up email in writing. It seems a little bit redundant, but at this point, it's a great way to make sure that you understand the assignment and that you are in clear communication with the clerk. And if there's no update given, then you know that you are in agreement. You also want to document the good stuff too. So if the judge compliments your work, make a note of that. If you hit a deadline early, note that. If you went above and beyond, also note that. This will help for both your own sanity and if you get in a situation where you need the defense, Hopefully it doesn't go that far, but it will definitely help you remember that it wasn't all a failure. Survival strategy number 2, build your relationship with the judge. This can be harder to do than it sounds because the career clerk can be blocking you from having access to the judge. But at the end of the day, the career clerk's power comes from being the intermediary between you and the judge. And so the more one-on-one time you have with the judge, the less power the career clerk is going to have. In other words, if the judge knows you, your work ethic, how you think, your legal reasoning, the judge is less likely to believe the career clerk at every little moan and groan, and more likely to have trust and faith in you as a person and your professional. You should also try and seek feedback directly from the judge when possible. Rather than taking everything through the career clerk, ask the judge if he has a few minutes to talk with you about an opinion that you wrote, or talk with you about a memo or your legal reasoning idea before you write the opinion. Any way that you can get direct feedback from the judge will help you do your job better and will ensure that there's no miscommunication occurring in the whisper down the alley communication with the law clerk. Always be visible in the right ways. So attend all the court sessions, even the ones that you might not have to be in. For example, if your career clerk is handling it, go sit in the galley and watch. Offer to help with tasks that get you FaceTime directly with the judge. And you can even volunteer for assignments that the judge mentions in passing. Anything that you can do to get the judge to interact directly with you is going to be a win. You also want to show initiative. Don't just bring problems, bring solutions. If you see a case that's relevant to something that Chambers is working on, bring that up. Maybe do some research, write a short memo, but definitely show the initiative. This should go without saying, but always be professional and cordial with the judge. Follow the judge's lead on how formal or informal the chambers are. For example, when I was a clerk, I worked with a judge who was both formal and informal. He preferred that we only ever call him judge, but he would also chat with us about TV shows and trips and exercise and make food with us. So it was a hit or miss type of scenario in terms of how formal or informal we were going to be. But it also was a very comfortable environment because of that flexibility. Now, one thing you don't want to do is go around the career clerk. So while you're trying to have access directly with the judge, never go around the career clerk, never badmouth the career clerk to the judge. Just speak with the judge about things unrelated to the career clerk and try and have that relationship that doesn't involve the clerk. Survival strategy number 3, master the politics. It's not about being fake. It is about being smart. First, you want to kill with competence. The more competent you are, the harder it's going to be for the career clerk to complain about you. If the career clerk has nothing legitimate to complain about you, they're just going to sound like a whiner. So show up to every meeting, show up early, be prepared, volunteer for things, do everything in your power to be the competent one that no one can criticize. Also, you're going to want to pick your battles. Not every slight is going to be worth making a big deal over. If the career clerk wants to rearrange all of Chambers or rearrange your desk, just let them. It's not worth it. If they don't like your font choice, well, just change it. Not worth it. Also, you're going to want to stay calm and professional. Don't be rude or make digs or say things that are passive aggressive. Just stay calm and professional. This does 2 things. 1, it prevents escalation. If you're not coming at them with an attitude, they can't escalate to the judge that you have an attitude. And it will also make them look unreasonable if they keep going with their bad attitude. Now, depending on what kind of courthouse you're in, you might also have the chance to build alliances with other clerks. So if you're in a building that has numerous judges, then you might be able to meet other term clerks or other career clerks and make friends with them and potentially build some alliances. Career clerks will talk to their judges. If you can get in the good graces of another career clerk who talks to their judge and their judge talks to your judge, you can kind of get your side out there without looking like a complainer or a whiner or starting a big fight. But along with that, you want to keep your complaints to other clerks very strategic. Don't talk to other clerks unless you know for sure what side they are on and that you know they're not a gossip. And complaining to the judge directly about their career clerk, don't do it. It's not going to go over well. You aren't going to win that battle and it's just not worth it. Survival strategy number 4, protect your reference. That's what you really want to get out of this clerkship. You want the reference from the judge that you are a good lawyer and that you are worth hiring. If you don't already have big law secured, this could be your chance to get big law. Even if the career clerk is sabotaging you, you have to play the long game. You have a limited time to be here, 1 year or 2 years. You can do anything for that short amount of time. Make sure that you do exit work that shines. So near the end of your clerkship, go above and beyond even more so that you leave on a good note with a good work ethic. If there's a high visibility project, a big opinion, anything that you can get on and do a great job on, go for it. Also, ask the judge for feedback before you leave. There's no reason, even though term clerks don't typically have performance reviews, there's no reason that your judge can't provide some type of feedback to you, and you should be able to ask for it. And if the career clerk has been bad-mouthing you, well, then you'll know, and you'll know maybe not to rely on the judge's reference. Also, request the reference letter before you go. Don't wait and hope that they'll write it later. Ask for it now. Finally, frame your clerkship experience as positively as possible. When you talk to the judge, don't focus on the bad parts. Talk about what you learned, what the experience gave you. Judges take on term clerks so that they can give them experience and set them up for a good career. They want to know that their efforts are rewarding both the law clerk and their chambers. So most of the time, you can survive a toxic career clerk. But there are some times where you do need to escalate. And I'm going to tell you those times. One, if there's any type of abuse, physical, verbal, then you need to escalate. No one needs to work in that type of toxic environment. If the career clerk is undermining your work product, like actively changing versions of your Word copy or intentionally putting errors in your drafts, then you need to bring that up. If your reputation is seriously at risk, like you have concrete examples of this law clerk slandering you, then you need to bring that up and put a stop to it. But escalation is always a last resort, and you're going to need documentation if you're going to escalate. So it's still going to be a strategic long game of obtaining that while also trying to be the best term clerk you can be. Here's what I want you to know. A bad career clerk makes a miserable few years, but it's not a career killer, not at all. You aren't the problem. You probably never were the problem. In most cases, the career clerks have a problem with every term clerk. If they're complaining about all the clerks that came before you, well, then you know that it's them, not you. All you have to do is be your capable self and outlast them, which means just surviving the year or two that you're working for that judge. Remember, the clerk's opinion of you is temporary. They won't even remember you after a year or two, probably as soon as the next clerk gets in. And there's no reason that you need to remember them either. Honestly, I think surviving a toxic career clerk makes you a better lawyer. You've learned how to navigate that personality for that time, and you've really figured out just how important relationships are to the practice of law. If you're in this situation right now, I see you. I was there. I lived through the toxic clerkship. I had a going away party and she just didn't show up, and it was weird and awkward, and the other staff didn't know what happened, and I didn't have the best relationship with the judge as a result of it. But at the end of the day, I still got the reference, and I still went on to create the career that I love and that makes me happy every day. So while it's brutal, you can survive it. Go ahead and follow those 4 survival strategy tips that I gave you, and you will be on your way to leaving that clerkship with a good reference from the judge. And remember, if you want more tips on how to manage your career and difficult personalities within it, go ahead and schedule a free call with me. The link is in the pinned comment and the description below. Bye for now, hackers.